International Women's Day! Motherhood is not a pause. It's not. It's a superpower. So go do it.
Happy International Women's Day. A career break doesn't mean a career end.
Happy International Women's Day. Tech has a space for every woman. Let's open the door.
Happy International Women's Day. Balance is possible and support makes it easier.
Hi everyone, I'm Adenike Olatubosu. I'm a technical product manager.
Esther Isife. I'm a mom and I'm a product manager.
Hi everyone, my name is Tosin Dada Phillips. I'm a product manager.
Hi everyone, my name is Damilola and I'm a senior product specialist.
First heard about product management in 2021. A friend told me about product management, and that friend is my husband today, by the way. Yeah, so he told me about product management, and I was like, oh, I don't think I've heard. I had not heard about that, actually. So I did my research, and then I asked some friends around if they know about product management. And so that was how it started. I also got to know about ProductDive in 2021. And so what I did was, I started with some friends, we started to work on a dummy project after taking some courses on product management. And then after working on that dummy project, I went on LinkedIn. I started to reach out to people via emails, and I got an internship. So that internship actually was like the start of my career. It was what launched me into product management fully, and I'm grateful to God that I took those steps.
I've been in the tech space for, I would say, about 7 to 8 years now. I didn't start off wanting to be in tech. I always say I accidentally found myself in the tech space. But I have an economics and information studies background from uni, and I started off wanting to work in management consultancy. I started my career in finance. Along the line, I kind of got bored with the whole structure and routine. Not saying that women in finance are not going into it. It's just that my personality, the routine was a bit too routine for me. And I found myself writing business plans and doing research on sort of like a side gig. I got an opportunity to write a business plan for, I'll say, a friend's uncle that was looking to start out a tech consulting outfit then in 2018. And that's how I found myself, researching into the space and into the blockchain world, not Bitcoin blockchain. I'm talking about leveraging blockchain technology to solve problems or to build digital solutions. So basically, started that out for him, joined this team. And then, when you work at a startup, you find yourself doing many different things. Along the line, I got converted into products, being the product manager on the team. And that's how I launched my career. Accidentally, I don't want to go deep into the details. But yeah, we have it. I've been there for a while. It's been interesting. It hasn't been as routine as I thought it would. Filled with so many, the ups, the downs, but a lot of adventures, a lot of, wow, this is interesting, and I'm glad I'm doing this.
I've always been in tech, right from university days. I studied educational technology, and that just gave me a lot of insights into tech. Got my hands on so many things around tech, really. And during my service year, I got to work with a boss who introduced me fully into tech. I got to teach kids how to code, and that was how my journey started. After that time, I came back to Lagos, and I was just wondering, what can I do? What am I so good at? I've tried web design, I've tried so many things, and I just wanted to know, what aspect am I so good at? I don't like coding, what can I do? So a friend just told me, have you heard about product management? Like, what's that? And then he's like, go read about Toby Otokiti. I think that you're like, and I'm like, okay, let's find out. And that was how I got to know about product management, got into ProductDive, took the course. And every day after the course, I'm just like, oh my God, this is what I want to do. And that was how I started. And after that, I got a product management role, which sets me up. And after that, I got into the company I work currently, where I've been for over 4 years. And I'm just so excited to be in tech, really, because it has given me a lot of leverage. And yeah, that's that about my background.
I've been in product for 3 years. My toddler is 3 years, so his age is my tech anniversary. So anytime you see my toddler, fully here, fully very well. So before coming into tech, I was a lab scientist. And trust me, getting into tech, just 1 year into tech, I started earning 5 times what I was earning as a lab scientist. So don't listen to people who say, oh, as a woman, once you get married, it's done. And when you start having kids, it's over. That's a lie from the pit of hell. Don't listen. Take my word for it. I'm a living example. But don't worry, we'll get to the story. But that's it about me.
So I recently became a mom 6 months ago. Congratulations to me. Okay, I recently became a mom 6 months ago. Before then, I actually had plans of going for my MBA this year. Like 2025 was the year that I was going to go for my MBA. And then afterwards, my plan was that, I'll still stay in the tech space, but move more into strategy and innovation, right? So now I have a 6-month-old baby. I can't go for my MBA this year, not because of my baby, but because I sort of have to restructure things around the fact that I have a full human being now to be responsible for. So yeah, I would say that was like a major plan. But yeah, my plans then were, okay, get an MBA at a certain point, then pivot, still stay within the tech space, but pivot and do a bit of like a career. Just basically a pivot, focusing more on self-development, right? I'm still going to go for my MBA, but not necessarily, how would I put it? I'm now looking at countries that can be convenient for me and the baby to move to, right? To have an MBA, and also looking at programs, mom-friendly programs. That's basically what I'm trying to say.
Fast forward to 2022, I was already doing well at my career, I think, I must say, with my full chest. I was learning and growing. I had a lot of goals. I wanted to take more courses. I wanted to attend more events and organize events. And so I had a lot of aspirations and goals. I had plans because I normally make my plans for the new year in the current year. So that's how I like to do it. So I had plans for the new year and boom, pregnancy came along. I mean, we were expecting it to. It's not like it just happened. Yeah, but before motherhood, I was really, I had a lot of goals. I also wanted to work on my social media presence. Yes, I was working hard. That time I was like, I need to push my LinkedIn followership to like 10,000. Don't ask me the number I am now. Yes, but that was one of my plans. Baby came and everything changed.
So for me, it wasn't the conventional. Before I became a mom, I had big goals. And then when I became a mom, it now maybe shattered or came down. My story is like the opposite of that. Because before I became a mom, let me give you the backstory. I was a laboratory scientist. I worked at a Federal Institute of Medical Research for Nigeria. So I was a project staff. Project staff means contract staff. And those are the ones that do the shekara there. So I would go to work, run samples from morning till evening, sometimes 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. It has to be run anyways because we are testing blood samples that will be transfused. So we needed to be sure that the blood samples were good to go as soon as possible because people needed blood, right? So sometimes I get to sleep over at work. The only time I couldn't sleep over at work was when I got married, and then not later after I got pregnant, right? And at that time, I started having issues with my boss, like, I'm sorry, sir, I won't be able to sleep over, but then I would work my ass off the entire day. I'm not even kidding you. Like, people would look at me, heavily pregnant, 36 weeks pregnant, running samples in the lab. So that was my life. That was the routine. All I wanted, I'd seen myself that, okay, if I can do project staff for, say, 5 years, they will pity me and then give me full-time role where they'll be giving me, say, 150,000 naira, and I'll be happy, right? I'll be joyous. So that was what I had built my entire life around. I didn't know what was outside So for me, before motherhood, I didn't have a purpose. I came into tech after I became a mom. And when I had my baby, I went back again. So apparently the project I was working on has ended. So I came back and, started begging them that, okay, I'm here again. Even if it's just 30,000, I'll manage it. Just give me a job, because this was purpose for me. And then they told me then, with my infant, with my son that is 3 now, they told me then, they don't have, there's no opening, there's no projects. People were not investing, nobody was sponsoring. So they're sorry, I have to go. So I left that place that day. But when I got home, did I cry? Can you guess? Oh yes, I did. Oh Jesus, I cried my ass off, because this was an entire future of mine pulling down in front of me. I cried and cried. But then do you know what makes it special to be a woman? She's gonna cry, she's gonna fall, she's gonna have hiccups, she's gonna have stages where she's tired. But you know what's special? She's not gonna stay down. She's gonna get up and she's gonna do that thing she has planned to do. I plan to say this when I get here, that when a woman tells you she's gonna pull this place down, trust me, she's gonna do it. No matter what happens, sooner or later she will. So that was my life before motherhood. There wasn't really so much to offer. I had planned my life stereotypically like that, and that was it for me.
I've been in tech for a while, but I think a year before I got pregnant, one of the things that I wanted to achieve was visibility at my place of work. I mean, I had to learn what to do to be visible, how to make my work more pronounced. I had done good works before then, but now I wanted to learn how to put it out there in front of stakeholders who matter and who can also see what I do and how it impacts the company. So that was my goal before I got pregnant. And I must say that didn't stop me, right? And which I'm going to later come to. So all of those goals were at the back of my mind as I was also working towards being pregnant, right? So my main goal was visibility.
I faced challenges, it was challenging. Were there days that I cried? Yes, there was. Were there days where I lost opportunities because I was a mom? Yes, there was. Were there days I lost opportunities because I was pregnant? Oh yes, there were, a lot of them. But were there days that I stood, right, in spite of all of these things and went for what I wanted to go for? Oh, there were a lot of those. So some of the challenges, I think the first one was having to navigate career, newly, tech, and motherhood. So I was a new mom, I was new in career. So that's what brought about my name, Tech Mom, right? If you know me on social media, you will hear Tech Mom. So I was navigating tech newly, I was navigating motherhood newly. This is a human in front of me, looking up to me for absolutely everything, cries for absolutely everything. My pikin did cry. Hi! If you hear my son cry, while taking my course in product management, then my colleagues, my classmates, they knew my son. Because during classes like this, you start to hear, I didn't care son has started. But that's the beauty of it all. I mean, that's the journey. That's the journey, because trust me, 10 years from now, I might want to go into his room and my son be like, hey mom, I'm having my bath or I'm dressing up. And I'll be like, okay, excuse you, because I radically carried you. So let's be guided, right? So I think another challenge I want to point out is there are times when my husband cannot really, he wants to be there, but then he's probably not speaking my language at the time. And I'm just like, Baba, leave me alone at this point. I mean, he's an amazing man. I don't want to pepper any single person, but then there are just times when it's just like, I don't really know what to do at this time. I'm just like, just go with your pikin. I didn't bring this child from my mother's house, did I? So you should just go and leave me alone. And he does, right? It really does always try to give me that time. So I'd say that's another challenge that I face. I think lastly was not being able to take on some roles or opportunities because time wouldn't afford me. But thankfully, ever since I came into product, it's been a remote work really. You just have to go to work maybe once or twice.
I actually just got back from maternity. Oh, what did I say? I got back from maternity leave in January. I'm not going to lie. How would I put it? Having a baby I'm just going to say this. So when I found out I was pregnant and then I started showing, someone in my office said, just know that you're about to lose like 3-5 years of your life right now. And I was so scared because I was like, what do you mean I'm about to lose like 3-5 years of my life? And it's like, yeah, because your life has to be about the baby. And I remember when I went back home, I was just like, I was literally hyperventilating, and I spoke to my husband and I was like, Bella, this pregnancy thing is not fair for me. Look at how I'm getting fat. Nothing's happening to you. You're taking walks, everything. You're looking good. But yeah, basically, that whole thing, I spiraled. But then he told me something. It's like, like you're saying, like, my life also changes, but I get how it is for you, right? But then we're in this together, and you just need to communicate and let me know what you need. And even if you don't tell me what you need, right? Because like you and I, we've been through different seasons and different like life stages together. This is not something we can't conquer and see through. And I was like, it's true. The person I married, I know why I married them. So yeah, that's support system. But that's aside, let me just, because this is not about him, this is about me, right? So yeah, I would say that I actually, I started looking for jobs that had like nurseries. Like I started looking for offices, like jobs in companies that had like nurseries, right? Because I felt like, how would I separate myself from my baby when I resume? I don't know if I can leave my baby with the nanny. And I even forgot that the grandma's already said, don't worry, we got you. Thankfully, I have like a hybrid work environment. So yeah, I would say those are like the little changes that's been for me. But ever since I got back to work, sometimes I'm at the office, I'm thinking of my child, how would I put it? I'm not saying I'm an irresponsible adult, but I'm more responsible.
So after I got pregnant, I just started to ask myself, what can I do to not make it look like being pregnant was a thing that could hinder my career? How can I put myself out there? And I should also mention that while being pregnant, I had so many morning sickness. Every morning I would vomit. That was a normal thing. And I couldn't do anything around the house. I couldn't do chores or all those stuff. So I had a lot of time in my hand. I didn't want to be useless. So I just focused all of the energy on my career while being pregnant. And that very year, I got an award at work, which also kind of helped the visibility that I'd been working towards. Yeah. So after that, after my baby came, I had 3 months to enjoy some maternity leave just to take care of my baby. And coming back, I should say that I was a bit anxious after I got back. I'd been gone for 3 months. And if you're into fintech, you know that fintech runs fast. And I was just so anxious. Would I be able to catch up? What did I miss? And for the first 1, 2, 3 months, I kept questioning myself. Was I the one before I gave birth to my baby? And that was so, I would say that one of the challenges I faced was really anxiety about having gone for 3 months. Would I be good coming back? Would I be good enough? So the beautiful thing is that I was working in a place where I had the support of everybody. My company enabled me so much and just helped me be pregnant and still show up at work as much as I wanted to do. I wasn't stopped. I wasn't put back and just say, oh, you're pregnant, you won't be able to do this. No, anything I wanted to do, I was just allowed to do it. I was allowed to shine, and that helped me. So I wouldn't say I faced a lot of challenges except the anxiety when I go back. But aside that, I think we were good.
When we discovered that I was pregnant, like I said, and I think the only fear I had was that how will I be able to balance being pregnant with going to work and then doing other stuff I wanted to do, like attending events with my big pregnancy bump, and everybody's like, Mama twins, Mama twins. We always get that in Lagos for pregnant women. So, but then I was able to go through that phase with the help of my husband, of course. And after I gave birth, I was on maternity leave, so I was enjoying myself. But after maternity leave, one of the major challenges I faced was that. So before then, I started bottle feeding my baby 1 week after I gave birth to her because I wanted her to be fully ready when I was going to go back to work. But my baby decided that she was going to stop taking bottle at exactly 3 months when I was supposed to resume back to work. And that was like a really like big challenge, because there was no way I was going to take her to my office. There was no way I was going to be working with her in the office. So we had to get an apartment close to my office, and my husband was working from there. And so every 2 hours, I'll go there, leave my work, I'll go breastfeed her, and then I'll go back to work. It was really challenging. I mean, it was a lot of work. It was tiring. At some point, I was like, why didn't they tell me that this is how motherhood was? Like, nobody tells you, nobody prepares you ahead. You just go in, like, you just get into it and then you go through it with the help of God. So I think that was like one of the biggest challenge postpartum, and we've been able to go through it successfully.
Because me, I'm just a JJ saying this mom thing. So hardest moments as a mom, I've actually never thought of quitting my job. So let me just give a quick backstory. My mom gave up, or she will always tell us, she'll remind us that she gave up her career, right? She was first in the education sector, then she was in the banking sector at some point, and she's like, I gave up my career for you guys, that kind of thing, or for you people. And my mom, every single time, every opportunity she gets to remind her daughters, she reminds us not to try it. So that has never been an option for me, honestly. And like I said, it's not something I've even never thought of. So I think for me, the hardest thing was actually leaving my baby after maternity leave, right? And knowing that now I had to think of like work, and also think of like, also ensuring she's okay. Like I remember the first day I went back to the office. I mean, it's not like I didn't have a good nanny, but at the same time I was transitioning nannies. I kept on calling, and even the grandma was there, like one of the grandmas were there, and I just kept on calling because I was so worried, I'm like, will my child be okay without me? Is she gonna cry? But thankfully I'm blessed with a very easygoing baby, so it hasn't been hard to transition from, maternity leave back to the office. I would say that that would have been very hard for me if the transition wasn't easy. So I would say balancing it. The truth is that now, like, how I'm a mom first before anything, right? But at the same time, I think for me, career is fulfilling. Like there's a sort of self-gratification that also comes with it that is also very, very important to me. But I'm a mom first. And like I said, I also want to say I have a very easygoing child. Like I've heard moms like think they have to deal with. Like my baby has a routine that's thankfully we've been able to stick to. So balancing going to work, because my work is basically hybrid, right? So balancing going to work and taking care of my baby hasn't been as difficult as I imagined it would have been. And thankfully I also have like, help and support around. But I used to say something though, because I was saying I have help. The time I was transitioning nannies and I didn't have a nanny, and then her dad had to go to the office. I will never forget I was in a meeting. And then, my baby wakes up in the middle of the meeting. She's like crying, and I'm like, just excuse me, please, I'm so sorry. I need to take care of my baby. Like, oh, no, go ahead. I'm not going to lie. I low-key felt, that was a bit dramatic, because, I mean, there are other moms that have had babies within the team, and I don't think anybody has ever pulled off that kind of excuse. And I was like, to say dramatic. Now it's your own turn. But the truth is that we have reasonable people. I work with reasonable people and they understand. So tell me why after I go to attend to this girl, I carry her everything. I go back to sit down, I strap her into a chair. Next time I start smelling something, smells. What's this smell? I was like, this girl has poo though. I was like, please excuse me. And like, sorry. And I was literally talking through something. I was like, please, I need to be excused. They're like, what do you need to be excused for? And I was like, maybe poo. And now I felt so embarrassed saying that. But then after I changed her, I took care of her, I had to put her. So eventually someone on the course said, please, can you just bring her and just, sit with her after taking care of her? So you just stop looking to that direction, because I was the only one at home. And then I just kept on looking to the direction where I put her. I just couldn't keep my eyes off her. So And I can imagine moms that don't have that support. It's going to be crazy for them to handle meetings and having to take care, look after them. But there's this funny TikTok that I see where a mom puts her baby on the bed and she's in the bathroom and she comes out with a sponge and she's like literally sponging her body. I feel like that's how I felt that day, because I was just all over the place. So, let me just say, actually, this thing is looking not easy. Maybe I'm just saying the story too nicely. Yeah.
My hardest moments would be when I was still breastfeeding my baby exclusively. So I remember days when I would go to work and I had not slept enough breast milk to sustain the baby while I'm out. And I would just be at work and try to focus and just like, is this girl fine? We should be fine. Thankfully, I have a husband who works remotely and he was able to take care of our baby alongside other support system that I had. But I was still like really anxious. So I remember one of those days when I was not lactating well. So the day before, I tried to just pump breast for my baby, right? And it wasn't just going to be enough. I saw it that it wasn't going to be enough, but I just went to work with faith that a miracle will happen or something. So I was at work around 12 p.m., which was supposed to close by 5 p.m. My husband texted me to say that my baby had finished the breast milk. And I was just wondering, I was in between crying and God, what will I do? And at the time, I didn't want to give my baby formula, so I was really not so sure. But before I got back, my dear husband already gave our baby formula, and he almost just turned into an argument. So I think that one of my greatest challenge was combining going to work, resuming. So even when they say 3 months maternity leave, really not enough most times. So between leaving my baby at home, who is exclusively breastfed, and going to work and just worried that whatever you let will not be enough. So I think that's one of my greatest challenge at the time. I think one of my mantra while being pregnant and motherhood was one day at a time. I was just going to take this one day at a time. Whatever happened, we are going to wake up the next day and just be a good mom. So I just kept going and just like every mom, I kept going, and that's how we are here today. Well, thankfully also I had it took a village, right? My friends were there. I remember when I was pregnant, my friend would come over to come and cook soup because I couldn't eat the soup in our house, and it wasn't really a soup I could eat. Gosh, I'm so ashamed of myself. So yeah, those were some challenges. How did I navigate it? Again, one day at a time. Next day, I could eat other people's soup, and we just kept moving.
2 things actually that made me navigate the pressure of balancing my career as a mom. One being prioritization. So I've learned to prioritize. When I'm at work, I'm at work. And then when I'm at home, I'm at home. So I try to focus on my family when I'm at home, play with my child, talk with my husband, like just do stuff that I'm supposed to do at home. And then when I'm at work, I try as much as possible to focus on work. So I've been able to prioritize work when work is needed to be done. And then I'm able to prioritize my family when I'm at home. And secondly, I've been able to learn the wisdom of outsourcing because, I mean, yes, I'm a superwoman. But if I want to do everything on my own, it will not really go well. It will not go well. Do you get? So I try to outsource things I know that can be outsourced, like cleaning the house, like cooking of food. And that way I've been able to maximize those time for more important things. And then I've been able to also use like pocket of times that I find during the day to add more value to myself, to add more value to my family, and then to do my work as a product manager effectively. So I think that's like the way I've been able to go through or navigate the pressure that comes with balancing work and family. Yeah.
One of the hardest moments was at work, something happened and I wasn't allowed to go because I was pregnant with my second baby. So at the time, my toddler had already, started growing. I'm a mom of 2, by the way, right? And when I was pregnant with my second baby, right, there were some things that I was supposed to have at work, but they were already calculating my delivery date. And they were like, oh, since I'll get to deliver at this time, I might not be really a good fit for this thing. Some of the perks that I should actually have, I won't be able to have access to it. I think that was like the biggest for me, one of the hardest times. There were times I looked at my daughter, I held my pregnancy, and I said, you are not a mistake, like you are here at the right time. I need you at this time. Even though it was making it look like, oh, you shouldn't have gotten pregnant at the time you did, But then there are times I assure myself, I speak to my pregnancy and I say, no, you are not a mistake. And I'm super happy to be your mom and to be carrying you at this time. So that was the hardest. Then what did I do to navigate? I think one major thing I'd say is my husband. He's my biggest support system. I remember coming into tech, he has always been there. Got me my first laptop to start learning, got me like majority of everything I currently, have today and all of that. Definitely, I'm chopping his money, by the way. I'm super proud to be doing that. Another thing that kept me going is planning that flame that I already have inside of me. So I think a lot of times a woman has a lot of power, but then probably because of what she has seen, or probably because of what she has heard, or probably because of her reality, she tends to forget about the superpower that she has. So a lot of times I call myself back to say, no, motherhood, you are a mom. It's a push for you. Your kids are gonna look at you and say, oh, I'm super proud to have this woman as my mom. So I think that was another thing that helped me to scale through. I would always look at them, even though there are times when my toddler will try you. Because tell me why I'm doing gentle parenting and I'm holding slippers in one hand. Because during meeting, that's when my toddler will come. Mama, in a meeting. I say, yes, honey, I am. And he goes away. Then he comes back again. Mama, in a meeting. I'm in a meeting. Can you free me? Can you let me breathe? Right? So I think those were the two ways that I was able to navigate it.
I'm that person who always asks for help. If I need my friend to come over for the weekend, I'm going to just put a call through. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm not going to say, is she busy or not? I'm just going to call and say, hi, can you come over for the weekend? If they say no, that's fine. I'll move on to the next person. I have a lot of support system, and I never stop to ask them for help. I think my number two is my superhero, which is my husband. Right now, as we shoot this video, my husband is at home with our 14-month-old baby, and he does so good at it. I'm not sure I'd be able to navigate motherhood without my husband. I think also having mentors, people who have gone ahead. One thing I also did was I didn't do it. I had a lot of friends who were pregnant at the same time. So we usually just have this caucus of pregnancy where we just talk about our bodies and just share what you're going through, sometimes cry and just move on, right? So yeah, I have that. And then my workplace, career-wise, is a big support system to me, from my colleagues to my bosses. If I say I need today, I will not be able to show up. My baby needs to go somewhere and I will not be able to show up. My boss has just been say, okay, that's fine, just take some time off, right? So I have that great support system in my workplace, and anytime I show up, I know I show up big. So yeah, that's also, so those are what makes me thrive. And I think the last part for me would be just ever learning, right? Ever learning, and always making sure that I'm not taking anything as an excuse to not do what I have to do. So while I'm being a mom, I'm also being a career girl for now. I'm also being a businesswoman sometimes when I need to be. I'm also being a wife to my husband, just doing so many things at once and just expecting that I do my best at it. So one day at a time, baby.
I am someone who, if there's something I really want to do, I go for it. I made a post recently. I was super pregnant. On my EDD, I went for my software development class. The reason I'm taking software development class, that one is, by the way, that's a story for another day. I was super heavily pregnant, and I put it, normally I wouldn't put things like that on LinkedIn, but that day I just felt led to do that. And I put it on LinkedIn. And if you see the tons of women reaching out to me, some were like, oh, they're currently pregnant and they feel so bad that their career is about to be over. Why would they be pregnant at this time? A lot of DMs like that. And I felt super fulfilled. So one thing, my personal strategy is, this thing, do it. If it's something you put your heart to, make sure you do it. Do it while your baby is, maybe your baby cries, didn't allow you to take the course, continue tomorrow. Keep going at it. Your toddler comes, Mama, are you here? If it's to be jumping, right, to scare or whatever, but do it. Make sure you go for it. Another strategy I have is I don't do a lot of things at a time. So I try to plan my days, plan my time, I'm saying, okay, in February, I want to achieve this. And I try. So it's not like I have it all figured out and you're like, oh, this lady, when she says she wants to achieve something in February, she will achieve it. No, sometimes I think normally used to achieve it. So let me just say that out there. Okay, let me come back to the intonation. So like a lot of times when I say I want to achieve something, I try to make it one step at a time. If I tell you I'm building a landing page today or this month, I will try to make sure that landing page is done. I won't tell you I'm going to build the entire website. So putting plans in place really has also helped me. Then do I have mentors? I have a lot of mentors. So I'm currently in my mid-level career, and recently the next stage for me is to go into a senior product role. And I've been speaking to a lot of senior product managers. I've been gaining insights from them, and I do not take that community for granted. I attended the Dive Conference 2023, right? Even though I was just famsing Toby in that Dive Conference, Toby Otokiti, I saw her, I famsed that, took pictures. I also met Ebi. I think that was the first time I saw Ebi Atawadi. Ever since then, I've been training these people. Like anybody I see that, oh, director of PM, this is where I also want to get to. So I tend to trail and, just follow back to back, go and look at the background of their careers and see, oh, how did they do it? How did they do it? And then I try to, start to work along in that path. So I think that's the next thing, mentorship, direct and indirect. I have people I've spoken to. I have people that I'm submitting to, right, in my career. And then I think thirdly, I'd say leverage help, right? If people are around you and are ready to help. I know you think that you are the only one that can help your babies. You are the only one that can help your kids. Nobody can take care of them like you. Right behind this camera is the man that impregnated me, taking care of his own children. And I'm here doing this video. So just make sure you leverage help. Where there's help, there's always help, for you.
My office is pretty flexible, right? It's majorly hybrid, or it is hybrid, right? So we don't have to come to into the office every day. And also, so one thing about me is that I'm always inspired by women that have gone ahead and done similar things. So someone like, Toby, sorry, I have to bring her into this call, but I called her a lot while I was pregnant, when I got the baby, because I'm like, how did you do it? How did you manage? And like when she started telling me actual real life scenarios and stories of, having to go to meetings with her baby, having to jump on flights to go to meetings with her baby. And even like, even within my department, I know in my organization, there was someone that just became a mom too. And then I had someone too that just became a mom. And I was looking at these women also juggle it, right? So I was inspired, and I'll say those women inspired me. And because because I saw them do it, I felt like I could also do it, right? I can also do it. So shout out to those women, they know themselves. And even my friends too, that are moms, that are also juggling like working and career. And like I said, flexible work policy and support system. Shout out to the grandmas. Even though times I'll tell them people should come and sleep in my house with this baby, they still come through because they'll give up their days to take care of their grandchild. They call themselves Gen Z grandmas. That's what they call themselves. I don't know what that is, but they are amazing. Shout out to my husband too. Solid. Like if there's a problem, he steps up immediately. And even my friends too. So I have a pretty nice support system around me. And I think that's when my head is still screwed on tight. And I can still walk around with a good will and not look like what I'm going through.
I do have mentors. Toby Otokiti is one. So for some days that I feel really down, and then I feel like I can't really find words to explain it. But I used to tell my husband jokingly that parenting is a journey that if you have not embarked on, you might not really be able to fully understand what a parent goes through, or a mother or a father is going through, right? But when I see people like Toby Otokiti doing well at family, thriving in career, it just motivates me, it encourages me that, oh, I can do this, I can do this. Not just her, there are other people I look up to as well, my pastor in church. And then when I look at them, look at their activity, I mean, the higher you go, the more busier you get. It does not get easy, that's the truth, and you don't get less busy, that's the truth. So when I look at these people and how they're able to still be effective at what they do, I know that, oh, I can also do it. So I have career mentors rather, and it has really helped me. And then for my work has been really flexible. I work hybrid, so there are days I don't go to the office, and I'm grateful to God for those days because it helps me a lot to really pay attention to my child while I focus on my work. So that's been helpful.
What I'm saying to moms out there is that, number one, motherhood is no hindrance to whatever your career plan is, your career goal is, or you working, right? Ensure that you put yourself first, because a sane mom is very important for a child. I remember my pediatrician told me that at some point in time, and she's like, you need to prioritize yourself, right? Because you need to be sane to take care of your baby and to take care of your child. So it's very, very important. Like, you have a whole human being now to be responsible, like you're in charge or you're responsible for. So there are moms that are sitting as EDs, they are sitting as the CEOs of organizations, women-led organizations, and they are moms too. So, I mean, these people have gone ahead of us. You need to be fearless. Think of your child. Sometimes when I want to chicken out, I also think about it that, how will Rewa see me? That's my baby's name is Ariel Olua. So I'm like, how will Rewa see me? Like, I don't want Rewa to think her mom is a chicken. Oh my God. I actually want my daughter to look at me and she should feel powerful as a girl child. You understand? Like, she should feel like a superwoman. Like, she should feel, she should know that she's unstoppable. Gender is not a hindrance, and she can do absolutely anything she wants to do.
This is only a phase. I mean, that's what I tell myself. This is just a phase, and this baby won't be a baby forever. She's going to grow, and then I'm going to have like some more time to myself, to add value to myself, add value to the world. And so just understand this and don't be too hard on yourself. When you want to take courses and then you have to prioritize your child and then you're unable to take that course, don't let it get so much to you that you become too hard on yourself or beat yourself up. So I remember when just 1 month after I gave birth to my baby, I had to take the technical product management course with ProductDive. It was hard. I mean, I thought it was going to be easy because I had my mother-in-law that was helping me, but it wasn't that easy because I had to nurse her, I had to attend classes in the morning, attend classes in the evening. At some point, I was like, maybe I should just drop out. Maybe I should just send a message to Chiagoze that I don't think I'm ready for this course at this point. But I kept at it with help, support from my husband, my mother-in-law, people around me, sisters, and I was able to go through that course. So this is my advice for you. It's just a phase, right? And then beyond nursing your baby, ensure you are also building yourself up. Ensure you are doing the things that bring joy and fulfillment to you as a mother, as a woman. There's one thing I tell myself, that beyond just being a mother to my daughter, I also want to be that woman that she looks up to as a model few years from now, right? So it goes beyond just nursing her, it goes beyond just caring for her, but you should be that woman that when she looks at herself, she say, oh, I want to be like my mommy. Why? Because you fought through. Why? Because you were consistent. Why? Because you kept adding value to yourself, you kept building yourself, and you were able to add value to the world. You were able to build products that is impacting a lot of lives. So this is just a phase. Don't be too hard on yourself. Take help. I mean, you're a super mom, even with those help. So take help, prioritize what you need to prioritize, outsource when you need to outsource, and I mean, keep winning. I celebrate you, I'm rooting for you, and thumbs up.
Other moms, I just want you to know that please take it one step at a time, right? I feel like there's no way anybody can prepare you for motherhood that will ever be compared to the actual motherhood, because babies are different. Ways of training them are different. I mean, one time we had to take a decision to just take our baby to crèche. We don't want to take her to crèche. We want her to stay 2-3 years at home without going to crèche. But we just had to come to the conclusion that this was important for our career. If you needed to show up as best as possible, we need this girl to be taken care of by someone else while we take that time to work. So just always revert back, consider what's best for you at the time. Don't fall under pressure of, oh, babies are not supposed to be at crèche at 3 months. Babies are not supposed to... If you need to take the baby to crèche, be on your way right now, right? So just do what works for you. Take it one day at a time. Cry if you need to, smile if you need to. Just be you and just enjoy this season you have, because it won't be forever.
There is a writer that said, may your road be rough. This road is rough. Motherhood is rough. Singlehood is rough. So even if there is no, you just have to choose your rough. You don't have to feel bad that you're losing or missing out of anything. I want you to know there is nothing that doesn't have its own challenge. So don't make anybody make you feel. If you decide to do, LDDs, it's hard to do that. If you decide to do the way you want to do, it's also hard to keep up with that lifestyle. So just choose your own art, and know that you can do it. No matter what happens around, no matter the challenge you face. Trust me. These kids, one day, you just look at them and be surprised of how much they've grown, and you now probably feel bad that, oh, you let yourself out. I mean, if your goal is to do stay at home Oga's wife, I want to do Oga's wife too, right? I want to stay at home and let's just be chopping daddy's money, right? Which is amazing. If that is what you want to do it with all your heart. If you want to take your career, you have something, you have a goal, you have a dream that you want to pursue, do it with everything you have. It might take others 1 year, which is beautiful, but because you're a mom, it's taking you, 2 years. It's also beautiful. It's part of the journey. And this journey is beautiful. Motherhood is superpower. I'm telling you, it is a superpower. So I don't want you to say, oh, motherhood is holding you back or anything. So I think those are the major things I would want to say. You can, and please go for whatever it is you want to go for.
We're women in tech and we're thriving.
Let's make tech accessible for all women.
Or breaking barrier and building the future.
Raise a woman, impact a generation. Tech for R, tech for all. Happy International Women's Day. Let's accelerate action.
Being a mom in tech is a journey. As a mom, it's fulfilling, but it comes with challenges. Balancing career growth with motherhood is no easy task. And for moms who take a career break, coming back into tech can feel overwhelming, like starting all over again. Many talented women step away from tech for family, only to find that returning isn't as simple as picking up where they left off. The industry moves fast and opportunities for re-entry are rare. But that shouldn't be the end of the story. Tech should be accessible to every woman, mom or girl. Whether she's been in the field for years or is looking to make a comeback. That's why this International Women's Day, we're not just talking about gender inclusion, we're taking action. We're calling on companies to accelerate action by sponsoring stay-at-home moms to attend the Dive conference, to give her the chance to learn, connect and restart a career in tech. This sponsorship can change the course of a woman's career. It's more than just a ticket to a conference. It's an opportunity for her to connect with organizations, get hired by organizations, and connect with females in the tech industry. It's a fresh start, a bridge back into the tech industry. Let's not just celebrate women in tech. Let's open doors for them to come. Let's make sure no woman is left behind. Who will you sponsor today?